Alright, what's up guys? Higgy back with another tier list video. Today we're going to be doing For Honor characters. For Honor is one of my favorite games of all time. The only reason I don't play it anymore is because, especially with the new consoles that have just come out, the community's pretty much dead. And when I did the total offensive overhaul or whatever, and they're starting to rework characters, and I didn't like it's like, I don't know, it's just the direction the game was going is kind of eh. But, yeah, I do love For Honor so much. I've spent so many hours on it. I got my start on Twitch there. Made a lot of YouTube videos with it. But for the sake of For Honor, I'm gonna go with green today. Or I should go with yellow because I play as the Knights, so we're gonna go yellow. Okay, so the Knights are my faction. So we're gonna go with Warden. Warden is S tier. It's super basic character, super fun to learn, but the aesthetic of the the aesthetic is really the biggest part here. Like, come on now, it's For Honor. But the aesthetic of the Warden is sick. The Wardens could always hold their own against any character. Most Vanguards could, but Warden was just... yeah, Warden is great. Okay, plus that dash attack, the chop, it was so far, and it was so fun to chase people down. It was so broken, but it was fun. Okay, I'm a little bit partial to the Knights, because the Knight faction was my favorite. Conqueror, I'm gonna put it A, just because of Conqueror was kind of slow-ish, running. The attacks were fine, but I feel like Conqueror was very basic. Like, you just had to be really good with your directional switch-ups, but if people could kind of figure that out and dodge you, like, you're pretty much screwed. But if you couldn't hit someone, like, unless you get someone who really knows how to fight a Conqueror, and Conqueror is really good, so we'll go there. Peacekeeper is gonna go with C. You play against someone who's mastered PK. They're hard to fight, but in general, like, they're not very versatile. But they can't really take a beating, and they're just kind of characters. So I'll put C. Lawbro. But the rework, he's an A. I'll put Lawbro as B because I don't really like playing as Lawbro. Lawbringer is great. In the sense of the switch ups now with the rework, the aesthetic of the Lawbro is super dope. There's just these big, meaty, tanky boys. The poleaxe is sweet. It's just they're just not fun to play as. And the thing is, they only really looked cool with the cape. Like, if you take the cape off, they just look kind of dumb. But the cape only had like the 1 or 2 chest pieces, especially at the lower reps, because I think mine was up to like rep 4 or 5. And you get like 1 or 2 chest pieces to have the cape, and it's like the chest pieces themselves don't look the best, but the cape was worth it. But I don't know. Centurion, oh gosh, but Centurion at D, just because C, I mean, because they look dope. They're not the most fun to play as, but for whatever reason, I could never ever fight Centurion. Fighting Ascent was one of the hardest things I could do in that game. It just, for whatever reason, my brain could not compute ways to defend the Ascent, to fight the Ascent, and it was just, I don't know. But also with all the okay, you gotta put Ascent at B, just because of the memes. All the Incredibilis. Absolutely Incredibilis. Firmus! It's, oh, dude, the memes surrounding Ascent has to push it up to a B. Otherwise, I would put like C or D. Glad. I'm gonna put Glad at A. A lot of people might hate me for that, but I think Glad is very basic, very easy to use. I'm pretty sure Glad's blocks hold, because I know the Assassin's blocks you can only hold for some time. I think they hold slightly longer than the other people. They look kind of eh. Like, they're not my favorite form of Gladiator, but I feel like I played a lot of Gladiator as like my second or third highest character, and I don't know, Gladiator is really fun to use and put that today. What is this character's name? Put it at D. I'm trying to remember. The Blackprior. I don't like BP at all. BP is not fun to use. The kind of robe, tower, triangle, shield aesthetic is just kind of eh. I don't really like the switch ups. I could never really fight them. They're just annoying and unpleasurable on all fronts. Like, I just really don't like BP. Warmonger C, I don't know, I don't think Warmonger was that good. And it's just kind of locked behind a lackluster character in the campaign. Horrible writing. Voice actor's not good. It's just, I don't know. It's just a glorified Warden, and the Warden is better anyway. Actually, it's more like a Tiandi. It's more just like a glorified Tiandi. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my tier list for the knights. Wow, I only put one knight in S tier. The Warden, that's my heart. Warlord B. Warlord's pretty basic. They're not necessarily the best offensive player, but if you know how to really run your defense with a Warlord, and you really are patient, you're a patient player, Warlords are beasts. I love playing as Warlord, especially since I was a more defensive player. And plus me being like, I just love Vikings in general. My favorite football team's the Vikings, but just like the culture of Vikings and the aesthetic of Vikings I love, and the Warlord is just freaking dope. So I'm gonna put Warlord at B. Zerk is F. I hate Zerk. Zerk looks stupid. It's not fun to play. Zerk is extremely slow. They can't take a beating. They do pretty high damage, but I just all they have is the side attack and the jump. I don't like Berserker at all. Valkyrie goes B. The switch ups with Valkyrie are pretty hard to for a lot of people are pretty hard to get. I know a lot of people who are better at the game and do a lot of labbing and whatnot are better with fighting them, but they don't look cool. I don't think the Valkyries look cool in this game. However, they're pretty fun to use with all the lights spamming, especially with that sweep and then the heavy stab. You can really just wreck some newer and experienced players with the Valk, so I'm gonna put Valk there. This pains me to say, but I'm gonna put Highlander at D, just because Highlander looks cool. This is not fun to use, very unfulfilling. It's hard to be good with that high intensity, stamina draining, hold right trigger mode. Like I just don't like the way that they're made. Put that there. What is the name for the forest midget? What's the name for the forest midget? I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember what their name is, but I'm gonna put them at C. Just a glorified Berserker, and they're just better than the Berserker. They don't look cool at all. I think they look stupid. But Raider is an A, especially after they bumped the lights. Just Raider's S tier. Raider, after you bump I just love Vanguard, but after they bumped up the light speed, they looked really cool. There's just an epitome of like your stereotypical, just like cultural Viking, not like your like pop cultural Viking. I mean, it's I don't know. I love the Raider. Raiders are dope. Yorm is D. Yorm is F. Yorm is D because Yorm has nothing but stuns. If you remove half the stuns from Yorm, they're nothing. Their attacks suck. Yorms are just not good. I don't like Yorm at all. And plus they look stupid, especially with the bare feet. I don't like. So yeah, and plus they scream so much. They're so annoying. But yeah, so we're going to put Yorm in D. So yeah, that's nice. And Vikings. Going to the Samurai. Put the Kensei at C. Kenseis are good. Their switch ups are great. They're just not fun to play. And the aesthetic is kind of weird because I don't like the little shoulder blocks they have, but at the same time, if you don't have it on, they look kind of dumb because they're little roby jacket thing. Like I don't know. They're kind of in between. I don't know how I feel about Kensei. Orochi. I'm gonna put Orochi at A just because of the cancer factor of who they are. But I think they look super cool. They're super fun to use. I was never a total light spammer. I would spam in short bursts to kind of get a couple hits off, but I was always more of a kind of like 1, 2, 3, dodge 4, and kind of hang back, maybe parry and stab. Like I like to switch it up with Orochi because a lot of people are so used to the Orochi's light spamming. That's kind of like I like to be different because they're not expecting you to be different with the Orochi, so it's fun to use. Okay, I'm gonna put Shigoki at D. I absolutely loved Shugo before the rework, which a lot of people didn't. I think Shugo was perfect before the rework, and then they reworked Shugo, and then he just became a total cancer fest. I hate him. I can't play him. I don't like his movesets. It's just, I don't know. But Shugoki is a great person if you know how to use the rework, but I just never bothered to learn it because I hated the reworked Shugo. But Shugo's D. Nobu is B. Nabushi with the stabs, the bleeds, the distance. They don't look cool at all. I think Nabushi looks stupid, but the weapon, the use of the weaponry and the range and all that kind of stuff, I think Nobu is a B. Moosh. Where should I put the Aramusha? Put Aramusha at C because they look kind of eh. They're not necessarily the most fun to play, but their switch ups are crazy. They're like kind of how with the Conqueror, the switch ups are your biggest friend. Switch ups are your biggest friend here, but they're one of those that can just keep hitting and 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 hitting, and it's just so annoying. It's so hard to play with, and like you can constantly just go everywhere. I don't know. I'm put Aramusha at C. Shinobi. Put the Shinobi at C. They look super dope. I love ninjas. I love the aesthetic, but it's just they weren't very useful in general. Like if you had them as a support fighter, like maybe in a group fight or like a 1v2, 2v2, they're kind of eh. But just as straight up as themselves, they're just not the best. But they look dope. Hitakuri is S. Hitakuri is probably my favorite character to play as. They kind of look depends on what mask you have, but I think the robes are dope. I think the whole cultural like lore behind it is super cool. I love just the massive two-headed axe. Hitakuri, like you could heavy spam with Hitakuri. Like no, Hitakuri's great. Put Hitakuri S tier. People can fight me on that. Hitakuri is an S tier. They're Wulin. F. They suck. You're only good because I don't like Shaolin. People can fight me. Shaolin's F tier. I don't know, Zanusha, Nuxia, whatever it is. You're only good because of your parry punish. JJ, put it C because you have the range. You're hitting heavies, hit for a lot, and you can jump back. Tiandi, you can put it B because your dashes are annoying. But you're pretty much just a warden with extra dodge attacks. I don't remember what you're called, but you were kind of eh. So I'm going to put you at C. But yeah, you guys can fight me. I don't like the Wulin at all. I have no high opinions of the Wulin. They look dumb other than the JJ, which I think is pretty sick. They just weren't really my favorite character. But yeah, that's my For Honor tier list. This is probably a very controversial one, especially because of playstyles. But yeah, if you guys agree with me on any of them, put that in the comments. If you disagree, put that in the comments. If you think, if you want to tell me where you think someone else should have been placed where they weren't, I want to hear it in the comments. But until then, see you in the next tier list video.